In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a house music in Mixcraft. As you can see, this is a finished project. It is a completed project, and it is an actual work that I did for a client. But I'm going to show you all the instruments that I used and the procedure, because the procedure is very important. So let's go through the instruments that I used. First of all, um, this is sub bass as the first track. You go to the instruments and bass synth here, and then you choose sub bass. So how I got Shimmer Vox for track 2, you go to the instrument and scroll down to voice and select Shimmer Vox. For track 3, you go to instruments, voice, select techno voices. Techno voices, these are kind of important for making a house music. For track 4, I chose pianissimo. Um, this is pianissimo. If you don't have pianissimo, um, it's on sale by Acoustica on Acoustical website, or you can simply upgrade to Mixcraft Pro Studio 6, and you will get pianissimo as a bonus, as one of the VST there. So I have pianissimo. I chose that as my track 4 for the instrument. And for track 5, I chose Square Mod synthesizer. I went here to synth and chose Square Mod synth preset as a nice preset. And for track 6, I chose Phaser EP. Here is Phaser EP by going to keyboard, electric, and Phaser EP. And we've got to scroll down. And for track 7, I chose Auto Wah Clav. That is short for clavinet. The Auto Wah Clav, it's really nice, and it's undoubtedly um, important for this track for house music production. So I chose this by going to keyboard, electric, and auto wah clav. For number 8, for track 8, I did the same thing because they're going to alternate here for for some stereo effects. I might show you that later if I don't forget. I will show you that towards um, the procedure. And track 9, this is the drum. These are the drums, because drums take time in making drum tracks. If you want them to be beautiful, it takes a lot of times. It takes a lot of time, and the kind of work that I do for clients, it needs speed. I need speed in order to finish that in time. So for this, I chose a very nice, a nicely made drum track. It's a drum loop from the library. Here's the library. I chose the track. I chose a drum track from there, and it makes things much easier. But one thing there is you have to look for the highest quality drum tracks. If you can't find any, it is really recommended that you make one yourself. You make a fresh drum beat by yourself. So here, I actually found the drum track that I liked, so I picked them instead of creating a drum track from scratch using a virtual instrument or something else. So that's it for the instruments part, and then let's go to the procedure part. For the procedure, it is the steps we have to take in making that. Normally, I start by making the drum and bass, but for a house music, you actually need to start it smoothly there's this step that I call introduction. I call it intro. You start by intro. From here, as you can see, from here to here are the intro. Let me highlight it for you to see. The intro in the beginning, from here to around here. The intro. So let's play the intro and see. You see, bass is very important, very important. And now the drums follow. The drums follow. So you see, first of all, the bass and shimmer vox. I started with bass and shimmer vox. That was the first step, the intro, and then you go to the build up when the drums join. And then you go to the climax when all the instruments have been there, and you twist it to get you just to the climax. Climax should be towards the middle and the end, towards the middle going to the end. That is when the climax of the music should be. So let's play this again. I'm gonna play it forwardly. Still in the intro area. Yep, still in the intro area. Drums have joined. And now, more shimmer box and techno voices. Pianissimo. This is the phaser EP located here. Yep, and this is the climax now. We've gone past the build up around here. And this side is the climax of the music track. And then there's a pause. This is a rest. Yep, it continues. So, I wanted to make sure you know why I made this marker here. This marker is to mark a place where we can further increase the climax of the music. So, first to increase the climax here, I wanted to switch the key. I wanted to change the key. So to change the key of the music, you double click, you insert a marker. So you can insert a marker by clicking on any part of the timeline you want it to be, and right click and choose add marker, and then you choose whatever you want. You can double click and still the same thing. So for this marker, I'm gonna edit it. I'm gonna edit this marker and select key here. This project is in key C. It is in key C. So I changed this from key C, where it was supposed to be. I changed it to key D for it to change, for the whole thing to change when it gets there. So let's play this and see. Watch out. When it gets to the place, the climax increases for the music. What? It didn't actually happen. Oh, I've seen the problem here. Because the project itself is on key D. It is already in key D. So what we need to do here, I'm sorry about that, is double click on the marker and select key E instead. Click OK. So from here onwards will be key E, but previous ones will be at a key D. All right, so let's play this and see. Watch out when it gets there, it changes. And in case you're using a virtual instrument for your drum tracks, there is something you need to do in order to prevent your drum tracks from changing along with the key when the key changes. Because when the key changes for the whole project or any part of it, and the drum is part of the and the drum changes key, technically, it is going to affect how the drums sound. I'll show you what I mean, probably show you in the next video. Yeah. So if you really want to avoid the drums from also changing key, which will make it sound differently, it could have played different instruments instead of the one that you said it before. In order to prevent that from happening, you just click. This is not a drum track anyways, but I'm just giving an example. You just double click on the clip. Double click on the clip if it is a drum track, and from here, you instead of adjust the project key, you select adjust pitch by, and leave it like that, and that will save the drum from changing its key along with the rest of the project. So that is what you're supposed to do there. Otherwise, your drum would change pitch technically, but instead of playing, for example, instead of playing bass drums, it would, if you had it play bass drums before, it would instead then play only snare drums, or the ones that are upper or lower, depending on your pitch, your key change. Anyways, that is all I wanted to show you about. Almost all, except I wanted to also talk about the main thing that people look for in house music. House music is made up of bass and drums. There's obviously a loop of bass, so you have to keep bass looping almost throughout the track. Loop some bass, about 8 bars or probably 16 bars, and also loop drum, and make sure the drum track is fat. There's something that is called fat. It is a strong bass drum instead of ordinary rock drums that you can't even hear the bass drum. You should use some kind of drum machine or any kind of drum sound that is really fat and strong. So that is the kind of thing that people look for in house music. And make sure you use important instruments like the clavinets, and add some techno effects to it. I made a mistake earlier by calling techno voices, by calling it shimmer vox, but I think they're all on the same under the same category, especially when we go here and you see voice and we go to the other one, voice. So, but you get what I'm saying. That is very important. Bass, keep that in mind. Bass has to be heard. It has to be heard by people. It is not like other music where they try to decrease the volume of the bass by all means. So you see, it is very audible. It has to be very audible. So if you think it is not audible enough, you can always go to effects and choose um, X bass enhancer. Alright. So if it does not come with a software, I don't know. I think it is probably, I can check the name. It's called G Sonic DSP Engineering or something like that. I mean, analog bass saturation X bass 4000L. You can look it up on the internet and download it. If it is for sale, you can do the programmers a favor and buy them and buy the software and use it with your DAW, and this will boost the bass on your track, and it will be a really good outcome. So now that I already boost the bass, let's see what it sounds like now. That is solid. Yep, it's a real house music. And don't forget, this is an actual project I did for a client. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'll make more of this in the future. I thank you very much for watching. I don't know what else to say. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe for more videos. And if you like this video, please click like and share with people that you care about, that are interested in this kind of stuff. And I look forward to make more interesting videos. Thank you so much, and bye bye.